Hi guys, so welcome to the last lecture of the series Pet Parenting. Okay, before going to the lecture, some points. First, if your pet is sick or having some illness, take him or her to your vet only. Okay, do not go to medicine shops or any attendants who actually deal with pets, because sometimes they do some irreparable damages. Okay, always consult a vet or take your animal to nearest veterinary hospitals or dispensaries. Second, love your pet but don't become obsessed with your pets, because obsession may damage your pets. So now let us go to the lecture. So today is a very important lecture. We will cover many aspects. The routine health care of pets. Okay, first one, veterinary care. When they need veterinary care, if you have a adult dog or cat, at least you take him or her to your vet once in a year. Okay, next, if you have a puppy or kitten, then take him or her to your vet in every 3 to 4 weeks for routine checkup. And for geriatric patients or geriatric dog or cat, geriatric means the cats or dogs more than 7 to 8 years of age, take them to your vet twice a year. Now when you should take your pet to the vet, first of all, if you will see any of the signs, the most important signs are inappetence and lethargy. Okay, inappetence means reduced appetence. Okay, the dog or cat will take foods usually less than what he or she takes naturally. Next, the lethargy means lack of activity. Okay, this is the very most important, it's not most important, it is the most important signs in case of pets. Next, vomiting or diarrhea. This may be a sign for gastrointestinal tract diseases. Okay, remember, for vomiting, sometimes some adult dogs, okay, usually I will go for feeding in next. So you will see, usually they require 1 or 2 meals. Okay, major meals they will require 1 or 2. So what happens, sometimes late in the evening or early in morning, okay, when there is big gap between 2 meals. Okay, so what will happen, they will vomit. Usually those vomits are slightly yellowish greenish in color. Okay, so you don't need to worry, this is because of bile irritation. Okay, this is very normal due to bile is secreted. So due to the irritation by bile, they will vomit. It is because there is no food inside the stomach for bile to act, that is why they vomit. So what you can do, you can reduce the gap or you can give the meal before the vomiting time. Okay, you will know the pattern when the dog is vomiting, then you can give the meal so that there will be less vomiting. This is a very normal phenomenon in case of dogs. You don't need to worry. But if you have a persistent vomiting like 2 to 3 times or 4 times a day, then you can take this as seriously. Next, polyuria or oliguria. Polyuria means more than normal, oliguria is less than normal. This may be the symbol for UTI, urinary tract infection. Then coughing and sneezing, this is basically respiratory tract infection or cardiovascular system diseases. Then discharges from eye, ear, nose or anything. If lameness or stiffness, this is basically skeletal system defect or musculoskeletal system defect. Or itching mostly skin diseases. This is a very prominent sign in case of skin disease, itching. Okay, if you find these symptoms, then go to your vet. And another thing, if you find these symptoms for more than 24 to 48 hours, then this is a serious concern or you may need to visit your vet. If there is any sign which is less than 24 hours or even it subsides in the afternoon, then you don't need to worry about these things and unnecessarily go to the vet. Okay, love your animal, don't become obsessed with it. So this is basically veterinary care, when you need to visit your vet for medicines. Now after visiting vets, he or she will prescribe some medicines. The medicine can be pills or chewable. These two basically the oral, whether a tablet or suspension or liquid formation, liquid form. So how to give them to your pet? For tablet, you can give them as small treats like chicken treat or inside a banana or inside a sweet. Okay, you can give them. So while giving, okay, hold it like slightly higher position. The dog will try to catch it up. Then simply leave it and it will simply engulf. Okay, he or she may not chew and engulf it. So that is, in that way they can eat the medications. But this is a very big problem in case of cats. They are very smart enough, like the ladies. They are very smart enough. They will eat the treat and will remove or you will expel the medications. But you can try. Next, if this method does not work, so what you can do? You can keep the tablet at the base of the tongue and hold the muzzle closed. Okay, don't open the muzzle till the animal swallows it. Okay, that in that method also you can give pills or chewable medications to your dog or cat. Next, the liquid medications. For the liquid medication, you can use a syringe. Okay, syringe comes with syringe and needle. Don't use the needle, only the syringe part. Okay, you can give the medication directly inside the above the tongue or just base of the tongue. If this method does not work, you can give the side of the teeth, hold the muzzle closed. Okay, you see this gap in case of dogs, this commissural gap is very high. So you can close the muzzle and put your syringe here and push the medications. Okay, while giving the medication, hold the head high so that it will go into the esophagus easily. Okay, this is all about medications. Also there are injectables. For this you have to take your dog or cat to the hospitals. Injectables and spot on medications. For spot on medications, the doctor may demonstrate you how to apply the spot on medications and you can apply it at home. Okay, apart from these are major medications. Okay, next, the parasite control. This is a very important in case of pets, and this is a very huge problem in summer season. Okay, in summer season the population of parasite boosts up. That is why they become major concern in case of summer seasons. Parasite can be internal parasite or any external parasite. So internal parasite basically worms, whether whipworm, hookworm, roundworm, like that. Okay, they can be a serious problem, specifically in case of puppies or kittens. So you need to deworm your puppy or kitten in a regular interval. Remember this 1, 3, 6. This is age 1 month. Okay, deworming starts at 30 days or 1 month. Then at a 15 days interval they are given deworming medicine. 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months, 2.5 months, then 3 months. Okay, when it reaches 3 months, then the interval is 30 days. 4 months, 5th month, then 6th month. When it reaches 6 months, then you can give in every 3 months. But there are some debates or there are some articles also. When the dog reaches adult stage, the worm load actually reduces. So you may or may not need the regular deworming in your pet, or you can do a FS, fecal sample examination, before giving the deworming medicine. If it comes negative, then you don't need a deworming medicine. If it comes positive, then you can give the deworming medicines. Which medications, how to give, how much to give, consult a veterinarian. Okay, do not go to the vet shops or any medicine shops or any attendants or quacks. Okay, don't go to them, they may damage. I can give a better example, actually which came to our hospital. A puppy of 1.5 months was presented to hospital. So what happened? I saw the puppy. It was having ascites. When I took the history, okay. So what happened? In the first month, when it attained 30 days, he went to the medicine shop to know how much medications to be given. I don't know what the medicine shop owner told that owner. What he did, he gave during medicines each day, okay, up to 15 days. You see, each day it is usually given once, okay. So each day he gave, and it caused the liver damage. That is why the ascites, the appetite was also reduced. So this is the problem when you go to any medicine shops or any quacks or any like attendants like that, okay. So go to your vets, he can give you the correct medications and correct time. Next, there is a problem in case of dogs. This is a specific problem, heartworm, okay. This worm resides in heart and may cause very different problems. For this, you have to do an annual blood sample examination to rule out whether your dog is affected with heartworm or not. Next, coming to the external parasite. External parasite is basically flea, tick and mite. These two can be visible to naked eye, while the mites may not be visible. They usually reside deep inside the skin. Okay, so what are the signs and symptoms? Basically, you will find in case of these external parasite infections, red scaly areas. Okay, sometimes you will find your pet having a red eruptions like this, and you will find these eruptions mostly in hairless parts of body. What happens? While sleeping in night, okay, specifically fleas and ticks, these two, they remain in cracks and crevices of your house. So what they will do in night when your dog is sleeping, they will come and they will suck blood from the pet. So the bite points will be having some allergic reaction. You will find some eruptions like this. These are basically the tick bite points where the tick or fly may have bitten your dog. So you may not find flea and tick on daytime, or you may tell your vet that my dog does not have a flea or tick, but the flea and tick may be in your house. So these are also a sign of external parasite infestation. And you will find bald patches, okay, patches where there will not be any hair growth. The itching, this is very much good, very much important in case of flea and tick infestation. In case of mite, all the mites do not produce the itching sensation. There are some mites you will find these two lesions while the itching won't be present. So for any infestation where the flea, tick or mite, take your animal to your vet, okay. He will prescribe the medications for the flea, tick or mite. Next, one more important thing in case of cat. In case of cat, there is a disease or parasitical disease known as toxoplasmosis. This disease is a zoonotic disease. It means it can be transformed, it can be contaminate or infect the human being. Okay, so you have to be very careful in case of cat. Toxoplasmosis basically upsets the gastrointestinal tract in case of a cat, but when it comes to humans, it may cause abortions in humans or human females. So if you have a cat in your house, do not handle your cat if you are specifically females, if you are pregnant. Okay, all the ladies keep cats. Okay, so be careful. Specifically, do not handle cat feces. Do not handle cat fecal sample. Allow any other person or male member who can handle the cat fecal samples, because this organism is found in the fecal sample. Through fecal sample contamination, it can reach you. Next, dental care. Okay, this is also important. Development of plaque. You may find some yellowish to greenish or black or brown coloration at the base of the teeth, yellowish or brownish. Okay, you may find some plaques just at the base of the teeth of your pet. So if you do not take care of that, then it may lead to gingivitis, inflammation of gum, periodontal diseases of teeth. So it may, so you need to clean the plaques regularly. There are some mouthwash also or some preparations which you can use to clear the plaque, or you can give some dry foods. Actually while chewing they may auto clean. So dry foods or toys, there are some bone available which is not eatable but for chewing purpose, that may help in cleaning the plaque. Now we will go for other important things. Now coming to grooming. Before grooming there was actually vaccination. For vaccination I have made already a detailed video regarding vaccination, you can check that out. Now coming to grooming. Okay, so what is the importance of grooming? So grooming actually removes the shed hair or broken hairs and also prevents formation of hair mats. Okay, matting of hair. This is very important in case of any dog or cat having thick or saggy hair coat. For dogs like GSD, Golden Retriever, Spitz, like that, in which you will find a thick hair coat. In case of cat like Persian cat, okay, in that breed specifically they need grooming. Okay, you can groom once, at least once per day. Okay, or in case of dog or cats, for a minimum you should have a 3 for a week, 3 to 4 actually. You can groom your dog or cat once daily, actually very good. Morning hour or evening hour, fix a time and groom your pet. Next, why matting is problematic? Because it causes irritation. You see, matting is like this, there will be mat formation. What happens at the base of hair, there will be moisture retention. Okay, and moisture is a very good medium for bacterial growth and also parasitic growth. So it will have skin problem or dermatitis. So you need to groom your dog or cat to prevent matting. Okay, and how to remove the mat? Always clip. Do not use scissors for removal. Sometimes you may injure the skin. Next, in case of cats, they actually self groom. Okay, grooming is not of much importance in case of cats. Okay, they usually self groom by licking, they clean their hairs. Like ladies, they usually like always in makeup and good looking everything. So that is why they love each other, cats and females. So like that they usually do the self grooming. But in case of long hair coat like Persian cat, like that, you need grooming, because what happens while grooming, some hairs may enter the digestive tract. So there will be formation of hair ball. Sometimes you may find cats vomiting hair. Okay, those are nothing but the hair he or she might have taken during the grooming. Sometimes the hair ball may become big enough to cause obstructions, but it doesn't happen in much of the time. So you should groom your cats having some long hair coat like Persian cat. So and periodic regarding birthing, the cats may not require birth for like once in 2 to 3 months or like that, but for dog you can at least give a bath once per month. Do not give bath weekly or any 2 to 3 days unless and until there is some dermatitis problem and your doctor has prescribed the medications. Because what happens, the dog having some sweat glands and oil glands at the base of the hair. Okay, these are very much required for maintaining the good quality hair coat. So what happens if you do the bathing in weekly interval or in 2 to 3 days, what happens, they usually dry this out. They dry the sweat gland and they clean the oil glands. So what happens, the skin becomes dry and like you won't find any lusterless, and it may attract external parasites and may result in dermatitis. So overbathing is also problematic for your pets. So bath your pet once a month. In case of summer season, you may go for twice per month, and do not bath more than twice a month until and unless it is required or prescribed by a vet. Next, some household hazards. You have to prevent your dog from some household hazards like chemicals. Sometimes you home might have some pesticides or herbicides or any alcohol or like that. Do not give access to your pet. I have seen some pet owners giving beers and rum to their dog or cat. It is not advisable. Okay. Next, electric cords, open electric points or like that, my dog gets sick. Steep stairs, you see these two are very important. Steep stairs and slippery floor. These problem may result in hip problems. In case of specifically in case of dogs. Okay, they may have some hip problems. Remember, there is a disease known as hip dysplasia. It's a genetic disease. Okay, these two are susceptible factor for hip dysplasia. Your dog may have hip dysplasia, but it may not show symptoms until and unless it reaches certain body weight. Okay, if you are maintaining, suppose for example, in case of Labrador, if you are maintaining the body weight below 30 kg, even if the animal has some amount of dysplasia, it may not show signs and symptoms. But if it reaches more than 30 kg, it may show its symptoms. And what predisposes to the symptoms? It's steep stairs and slippery floor. You see, marble flooring is good for humans but not for dogs. So where your dog is saying, please apply some mats or some there is market there are available mats and some hairy mats like that. You can apply that in your the room where your dog is staying, and avoid the use of stairs much frequently, because it may predispose your dog to hip dysplasia. And in case of geriatric dogs, do not avoid these two. Next, spaying and neutering. Okay, if you do not want to breed your dog or cat, then spaying should be done. Okay, what is the advantage? First of all, it prevents unwanted puppies or kittens. Okay, unwanted. You see, some people say it's not ethical, but thing is, if a dog gives 10 puppies and you cannot manage them and they die, then it is also unethical. So, if you do not want to breed the dog, then spay or neuter. Spaying is for female, neutering is for male. Then also you can avoid some future medical problems, like in case of male. Okay, if you haven't done castration, it may have some problems during geriatric time, like prostate problems, okay, or perineal hernia. Okay, like this in females, you may find mammary tumor. You see, mammary tumor has many more reasons. One of them is the not spaying or spaying the dog. Mammary tumors, uterus infections, okay, like pyometra, ovarian tumors. So these are the diseases of old dogs or cats. So you may avoid these two by doing the spaying or neutering. And next, also it improves the behavior of dog or cat. Sometimes you will find some male dogs having very much of aggression. So neutering usually reduces the aggression. Also in case of cats, they have a wandering behavior. They usually go out and travel. Also similar to the ladies, wanderlust pose, you know. So the cats usually go for wanderlust posing. So if you will do this spaying or neutering, it may reduce the wandering problems of cats. You see, the wandering also is a problem, because you see, if you have to give medications to your cat, okay, if the cat is not available inside the room, how will give medications? So that is why this is also a problem. So you can remove this problem by spaying or neutering. So what is the age? For male dog, 5 to 10 months. For female dog, it's 6 months. Actually, it is before first heat. But many of the veterinarians will recommend you to present your female dog after first period. The reason being, you see the uterus generally, if you will go for neutering before the first heat, the uterus will be like very thin. Okay, it is very difficult to find. Okay, but after first heat it becomes thickened. Okay, so it can be easily grasped and taken out. Okay, that is why the surgeons may recommend the spaying after first heat, but if you will go by books, it should be before first heat. In case of cats, the age is 6 to 7 months for male and female. Next, coming to the feeding practices. How much time or how many times you have to feed your dog. The age dog or even for cats also. For 6 to 12 weeks, you see before 6 weeks, the puppy or kitten will be with mother's milk or milk replacer. If the puppy or kitten has been weaned, that is, you have taken away from his or her mother, then you have to give the milk replacer, like lactogen or Cerelac, like that. You can give that, and 6 to 12 weeks the puppy ration starts. So you have to give 4 meals per day. Okay, when 12 weeks is 3 months. So 3 to 6 months age, you have to reduce to 3 times per day. 6 to 12 months, 2 times per day. In case of giant breeds like Saint Bernard or Great Dane, like that, you have to maintain it up to 24 months. So for this, you have to give the puppy ration diet, the commercially available puppy ration diet, or you can formulate by your own availability. You can refer to the pet animal nutrition video in this series. And in case of adult, remember 1 to 2 meal is sufficient. Okay. In summer season, you may find a phenomenon known as summer inappetence. What happens in summer season? The appetence usually reduces. Okay, so the dog or cat will take meals half of their usual meals. So it is not a big problem. Okay, it may actually, the dog and cat are also smart enough. They avoid the foods having high energy. Okay, usually you give rice. Okay, rice is a high energy food. Okay, it is rich in carbohydrates. So that is why they usually avoid high energy foods. So they may enter into summer inappetence. It is not a bigger problem. If you find actually remarkable less appetite or remarkably reduced appetite, then you go to your vet, okay, for consultation what to do. But this is a normal phenomenon. In summer they will usually reduce their feed intake. And remember, only 1 to 2 meal is sufficient for adults. Do not give 3 to 4 times, you will make them fat. Okay, nothing else. Next, coming to the breeding. So for a dog, usually you will find 2 heat cycles per year. It is usually 6 months apart. So 2 heat cycles per year. The signs and symptoms will last for 14 to 21 days. So it is divided into 4 phases. These two you can actually distinguish. In pro-estrus, you will find bleeding. Okay, it is usually 7 to 10 days, but it can last up to 21 days. So do not need to worry. You see, the bleeding means you will find red color fluid. Apart from lead, you will find some transparent fluid or white color discharges. Then take her to your vet. Next, estrus. After the bleeding stops, the estrus status. In this period, the animal will ready to be mate. Okay, the animal will attract males and also will allow mounting. So this is period for intercourse or mating. Okay, so diestrus and anestrus you may not distinguish between. In this phase, okay, the dog won't allow any males, the female dog won't allow any males. Okay, in this period you won't find any signs and symptoms of estrus. and usually the ovulation occurs 2 to 3 days after mating. So in case of cats, you will find 2 to 3 heat cycles per year. And remember, cats are induced ovulators. It means the cats won't ovulate if they are not bred or they are not mate. Okay, so they are true induced ovulators. If there is no mating, it won't ovulate. Next, for cats, you know by signs, like they will rub their back on your leg and they may have some sex cry. Okay, they will meow. Okay. So sex cry, and also they will allow mounting by other cats. Okay. So this is all about the routine healthcare practices to be made by the owners. Okay. So this is the last class, and I hope you enjoyed this series and it was knowledgeable for you. So this is all about the pet parenting. So we will meet in next class, maybe some new series. Okay, bye bye.